Call to order the City of Dayton's Park Commission meeting for November 5th. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, call for any additions, changes, deletions to the agenda. All right, hearing none, entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, on to the consent agenda. Entertain a motion to approve the meeting notes from last month.
I'll move the motion.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, open forum, limited to 3 minutes, non-agenda items. State your name, address.
He's with the CDA.
Fantastic. Anybody online?
We don't have Zoom link up today.
Sad. Our followers.
We should get so much feedback.
Yeah.
All right. Councilman Slonik update.
Let's see. Council looked over the Stevens plan, the elaborate $20 million plan. Though everybody did say it was a very nice dream plan, it's certainly not in the Dayton's checkbook. Some of that probably, I guess, could be contributed to. We maybe should have gave MSA a budget before we started that whole idea, and nobody did, so they just kind of went with whatever they thought was great.
Sure.
We did talk about what to do for phase one. Now, whether or not that happens in 26 or not, I'm not sure, but the main priorities that council wanted to see happen for the first phase was bathrooms on the west side.
Okay.
There was overwhelming support for a splash pad if we can keep it under 1.5 million bucks. And I think $500,000 would be enough.
Get
That's
some blue tarps.
personal opinion. And then a cover over the amphitheater.
Did they
So-
discuss what kind of cover they'd like to see?
Hard. Not,
Hardcover.
yeah,
And not
absolutely, absolutely. There was zero support for the canvas sales.
Okay.
Scott, did they want us to look at some additional parking over that side as well?
Parking? Yeah, like 35, 40 stalls is what,
Yeah.
kind of, that's what MSA threw
Yeah.
together.
Yeah,
So,
that was a nice setup.
yep, so that's pretty much that. There is another parcel of land that came into play from Three Rivers that has to do with the so-called bike trail. And that was tabled so that we can get Three Rivers back in here and get some more details on the trail itself. An actual, what are we gonna do, when are we gonna do it? Trying to get them nailed down a little bit, so we'll see where that goes.
Because it reminded me earlier in the year, they had one that they purchased, the city
I think
agreed
there's two of
to, and
them.
then
There's
everything
been-
else was on hold after that.
Yep,
Okay.
and now there's another one that the Bleeding Hearts came out and please let us buy another one.
Okay.
So, for now, that got put on hold or tabled, and we'll see where it goes.
Okay.
That's really it.
As far as the rest of the design, did they like the ideas at the 10,000 foot level of how everything was laid out?
As
or-
far as Stevens,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, most everybody liked the design, but let's be real here. We
Right.
can't spend $20 million on that park.
And that ask for partnerships, going to some of the businesses, seeing if they'd sponsor out of the council.
It's a possibility. I mean, yeah, that's some work that staff will have to work on. I mean, right now what we're looking at is what's in the budget to do just without bonding. Number one, to me, the park is gonna take somewhere around 5, 6, 7 million bucks to do. Now, that would be a lower caliber, farmhouse style, what would you call it? Entertainment center, you know, a building. Not no $7, $8 million building, but, if you go to even to the $5 or $6 million, we're talking about bonding for sure.
Right.
And then it has to go to a referendum, so the suggestion was made is what can we go to without bringing the referendum to get something started? So,
I think a lot of our conversations were tied to, if the total number is 20, what can we get in grants? What can we get in sponsorships, et cetera? You know, could we sell, you know, could we get that number down inside under 10? You know, what does it look like long term?
yep.
You know, and I don't know that, you know, we have the perfect answer, but the definitely wasn't the plan to, you know, 20 million day one and, you know, make
Let's break
everybody,
ground.
it was a phased plan along with, you know, whatever grants, before we go for any further at all, the whole thought was, what can we get in grants?
Yep.
And then obviously sponsorships and that kind of stuff, and then phase it out over, you know, 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it needs to be. But that was kind of that's where we're coming from.
Right.
We definitely
Yeah.
didn't, no, I don't think anybody in the room was thinking, hey, let's just throw 20 million at the citizens and let them figure it out,
For sure.
Yep.
if that makes sense. So
What
that was,
did Go ahead.
that's where we're coming from, if that makes sense at all.
What did the council think of the phases that they had laid out? Phase 1, we would do this.
Well-
Phase 2, we would do this.
The number one item that residents requested was bathrooms. And that was MSA's last item.
Okay.
So not necessarily in any real order. I mean, council talked about trying to knock off the first 3 important things to residents and see if we can do that.
And 1 was bathrooms. Do you remember what 2 and 3 were? Does anybody?
I know splash pad was 3 or
Water
4.
play or whatever it was.
I don't remember what they were.
Remember off the top of my head.
Restrooms was number 1 for sure, and I think splash pad was 3.
Yeah.
But I personally, that $1.5 million number for a splash pad, I mean, yeah, I'm sure you can build it, and it would be the nicest one in the 100-mile range. But, I mean, we don't need that. St. Michael built one 5 years ago for $225,000, and I guess to me, that's all we need. Now, that might be 3 or 4 or 5, that might be $400,000 by now,
Yeah,
you know,
For materials.
but it's not 1.5.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the things that we talked about last time is me coming from Sioux Falls. One of the big things that a lot of the parks department is actually doing the sponsorship, and that's where we kind of got that idea is, you know, there was just a couple parks that were just remodeled that literally was almost 100% private donation. So seeing different ways to utilize that in our community might be a good way to, you know, once again, not make the city write out a check for, you know, $20 million, but maybe
Yep.
only a good portion of it, so. Could be
I think
done
that'll
with
come
that.
over the winter here and just see what conversations come up on that deal.
I would just say on the grants part of it, we'd started work with MSA and getting a few ideas out there. We had a meeting a couple of weeks ago now, I think it was, just to discuss what options are out there. And there's various different options for, you know, for the basic stuff, for grant writing and stuff like that, and to, you know, all types of different facilities that are possible to get funding for. So that ball started rolling. We'll start looking at what grants are available specific to this and what the time frame is to get the grants in for those. And, you know, there may be some we can get applied for this year, or maybe it depends on the timing and the dates when they have to be in. But we have started looking at that. We haven't done too much on the sponsorship just yet, but I'm sure that's something that we will work our way through as we start progressing this project. And, you know, next year is going to be a design year, I'm pretty much thinking, to get, you know, the splash pad and all that laid out, and what we're going to do for bathrooms, what type of splash pad it's going to be. We did do a little bit of work on the St. Michael splash pad over there. And it's a different type of splash pad because they don't recirculate the water. They just send it out to a storm pond and use it for irrigation from there. So that might be a cheaper way of doing it. I don't, we'll start looking at different options for how that works and what the cost is on that. And I think the maintenance cost is going to be another issue that we need to factor in as
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
It's a kind of a gather information for now and see what we can do.
For sure.
It's possible, because that's done on the west side, and that some of that work could be started next summer sometime, or I'm hoping that we can get the covered amphitheater thing going by April, May, so that it's done by June 1st.
You'd like to cover done by June 1st. Got it. Okay.
I'm gonna push strong for that.
I get it. Good to know as we start looking out for next year.
Not that the cover will prevent any of the rain events, because people aren't gonna come if it's raining anyway, but.
So what is the push for the cover? Why are you guys wanting the cover sooner?
A lot of bands want to cover, a lot of your better bands. Yep.
Okay.
From a Sun perspective, or what, do you know what it is that why they're demanding it?
Well, I wouldn't say they're demanding it, but a lot of your, like, for instance, the Riverfest band, I mean, they came and played there, but that's a $7,000 band for the evening. And you start talking $5,000 to $10,000 band, they want covers. So they ask if there's shelter for them
Yeah.
right off the bat. The primary deal, though, what drives that is their equipment.
That's
They don't want
insane.
any moisture on their equipment.
Okay. Any other updates?
No, I don't think so.
Any city staff updates?
No, I don't have any currently. I think we'll cover some of those tonight. And there's an update on the park improvements project this year. So that's pretty much what I've got going on. All the other projects are kind of winding up now.
Okay. Anything? All right. Thanks, everybody, for your updates. On to our regular meeting items, budget check-in.
I got the current fund balances this morning off of Zach. This is where we currently stand. The Parks Fund is 3.4 million. Some of those funds are still going to be used up for finalising this year's park improvement projects. And then there's the 1.5 million that we're looking for LC Stevens for next year, so that comes out of there. Trails Fund is 3.3 million. There's 200,000 of this potentially going to be needed with the Water Trails project with Three Rivers Park District on there. Land next to Gooding Park there. So that's where we stand currently. I did do this. This is from my, this isn't the official CIP document. That's not completed yet. This is my cheat sheet that I put together.
Sure.
So I don't know how far you want to look out on this, but there's most of the stuff. Well, there's some new items on here. There's quite a few new items. One of the things is we're trying to look at building a nursery. We're starting to spend money on trees, replacements or additional trees to areas to give additional screening. We've done some work over at the disc golf course this year to give the neighbours some additional trees to screen their yards, and we replaced a bunch of dead trees in there. And with the emerald ash borer thing going through, we need to have trees on hand. If we go to somewhere, a nursery, they will charge us $600 for a tree and planting. I guess we could probably get that cheaper for bulk buying, but it's still a big number. If we have our own nursery and stuff like that, the tree cost will come down to more like $75 a tree for us to put those in the ground. I have done a lot of work with the arborist and Hennepin County with their tree people, and there are a bunch of grants available out there. for setting up nurseries, for tree stock, and for designing these things. So we're looking at a lot of grants for those. I know here the funding source says city. At that time, that was what we were looking at, but since then, there are some grant opportunities that we'll be exploring. So that project is spread out over a couple of years, with the 2027 being the major construction of the nursery, and then tree stock for the nursery following in 2028. And then additional tree stock as we go through. Those numbers are a little bit of a placeholder because I don't know how many trees we're going to be using and what how many trees will survive at the nursery. I'm expecting a lot of trees to survive. We're going to put in gravel beds to start them off, and then the trees that we don't use that year we will put into the actual nursery itself. So there'll be two sorts of stock there available to us. So it's kind of, we've got to do a bit of a balancing act to see exactly what those numbers flesh out like.
And this is out of the city 404 fund, not the park.
Second, sorry.
Is this the city fund or the Parks Development 404 fund that the $100,000 to kick this off would be?
This is the 404. Park Development Fund 404.
Okay. Trees take a lot of work.
Yeah, they do.
Are you going to be able to hire new staff for this, or something else you're going to put on a new hat for?
We will. I don't know exactly how much work there is involved in that, so we would have to look at that a little bit. But there are some volunteer people that we can get to utilise in this. Hennepin County do that a lot, so we would look at some of those work. I think they're called workforce type agencies who have volunteers, and they have a lot of volunteers come through Hennepin County who are college and want to get experience in the field. So sometimes you get those for people for a year to come and work with you. So there are some opportunities there, and we would also look at maybe having to hire staff once we get a good feel for how this thing develops out.
Interesting.
Diamond Lake Diamonds renovations is on here. That's one of the projects that we're going to talk about tonight. John's going to probably do the most lead on that. We spread payments out over 4 years to build this out. We haven't got a firm cost on it just yet. These are just some earmarking funds. And then additionally in 404, there's the tree stock for the nursery that we just discussed. Park dedication funds, 405, there's we've been saving money for community park for a few years here. There's 150,000 currently in the CIP for that. The second phase of Area 21 is scheduled for next year. That's a $200,000 project. There will be some irrigation required at that park to add on to what we're putting in this year. So there will be some funding coming from the water fund to add that in. We've got some Stevens phasing in here. I'm not sure if this is still relevant, but this was from the existing CIP.
Sure.
I haven't looked at these since we've had the discussions over the last couple of weeks. So they're just some placeholder numbers in there. And then further out, we have construction of a community park scheduled for 2029. Whether that's realistic or not, I don't know. But they're earmarked placeholder funds.
For sure.
Park capital replacement. There's a couple of things on here. The longer term things. The structures at Cloquet Overlook. They've been in there since 1998, I think those were put in. So they're starting to age a little bit. They're still in good shape. So we put some funding in there because they're going to need replacing at some stage. And then the playground equipment at Cloquet will be up for replacement in 2032.
Okay.
Just working on the average lifespan of playgrounds. If it's still in good shape, then maybe we can push that out a little bit, but we need to put something in there. And then the next one would be to replace the equipment at McNeil.
Got it.
Then on the Park Trail Development Fund, we got the water trail stuff in there for 2026 at DNR. We're going to be doing Elsie Stevens as well, the 2026. I haven't updated that in here yet. But these are all grant funded. They're not city costs. There's the thing in there for the access at Gooding Park. That's in there for $1 million. That was what the original idea was. We're probably going to be more around 700,000. I know that Three Rivers got 500,000. We are budgeting 200,000 for there, and there's probably going to be some funding left from the National Park Service grant and the federal funding, I'm thinking, that will help that 200,000. So I don't think the city will be funding it all the 200,000. But
Good.
we're just putting it there to make sure that we're going to cover all our things. And then there's the trails, the area along Territorial Road from Territorial Trail to Rush Creek Parkway. We've looked at that. That's slated for 2028, budget of 830,000 for that. That's city developer funded.
Mm-hmm.
Then a trail along Fernbrook Lane, Rush Creek Parkway to Three Rivers Park District underpass. That's slated for 2028, but that may slide because it depends when Hennepin County do their culvert work on Fernbrook Lane. But that's a partnership with Three Rivers and the city.
Mm-hmm.
Trail construction, Pineview Trail, 137 to Dayton River Road. That's the final stretch out here on Pineview that needs to get it up to the River Road. Then the trail construction we've been looking at for Berkshire Lane to 140th, that is in here for 2029, which will tie in with Hennepin County rework of through Dayton River Road. The potential is there may be a roundabout put in there and we can access that for our pedestrian crossing. And then again, 2029 for the same reason, an extension from Balsam Lane to Donny Galloway Park. So that will get us across Balsam Lane onto the north side of Dayton River Road all the way down to Donny Galloway Park. And then the trail construction from 142nd on the River Road all the way down to Cloquet Overlook Park. And those are County Three Rivers Park District costs. We're not putting any city funds into those at all.
Right.
So that's all I have on my cheat sheet for budget at this time. And once I get the final CIP, I can share that with you guys.
Please. Yeah, we'd like to see that.
Yeah. It's just not finalized, so I wanted to use
No,
what
we
I-
appreciate this, even at the higher level. We get an idea of what the plans are moving forward.
Yeah.
Do you guys
Okay.
have any questions for Marty?
No, I guess my most concern is I know that as Dayton continues to grow, there's going to be more and more needs for all of these resources. So it's good to see that we're moving ahead with some of the better projects that we needed. So thank you for that.
Even if it is ideas for now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, Diamond Lake Diamonds discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this kind of relates to previous discussions of how can we use what resources we have better. So we have Diamond Lake Diamonds Park, which has been underutilized for some time. There's a history, currently there is a softball field there, and historically we've had two. It's seldomly used. So I know the city and the CDA have needs for other park facilities. We had worked with MSA to create 3 different draft plans. That's included within your packet. Staff and MSA and CDA met earlier this week to try to narrow that down to one plan, and that's was provided to you just in paper form. So I don't think we have, we don't
What?
We don't have this as a slide.
No, we don't.
Yes, sir.
Apparently, it
So-
came in too late to get it on the PowerPoint.
I'm going to call it the final draft or the most recent draft is one baseball field, for 12U baseball, as well as 2 soccer fields for grade 3 and 4. So MSA looked at a lot of things, of essentially how much stuff can be packed on the site. That's included in the 3 drafts that were provided to you in the packet. In conversations, it's more realistic to kind of narrow the scope of what can fit and do well. So in addition to the baseball field and the 2 soccer fields, there's a parking lot for, I believe it was 67 spots. Once we have more details, things might shrink a little bit, but that's kind of a good place to start. And we also have Rick Klopner here from CDA.
Okay.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes, you can.
And the final design, once we get there, will rely on the existing public workshop going away. So that will happen after we extend the new public workshop to accommodate that equipment that's stored in there, and then we can do.
So that's just going to go away?
Yeah.
It's okay.
I think that building was built in the 1960s or
I mean, I don't want to touch it. It might fall over.
Yeah, don't touch it. Yeah.
So obviously it was discussed 1 field versus 2 fields, single field. Will this have night lights so it can go through the evening and other amenities, restrooms and all that stuff? Is that the plan?
If you'd like to put it in the plan, it can be added. So it's all based on funding sources, so we're kind of starting at what is affordable initially, and then how can we grow with it. I think for the immediate future, the plan is to just use it as a practice baseball field. So this is dimensionally 12 U's, about the biggest baseball field we can fit on the site. And I think 12U currently is at Dayton Elementary and, I'm trying to remember from my baseball days, Dayton Elementary and Northland and Champlin.
Yeah, and J-Rack.
And J-Rack.
Small.
J-Rack and Reynolds. So 12U, as a practice field, it can also be used by 13U, but it's not a regulatory sized 13U field, so it will not be used as games.
Why not retrofit the current setup, the current field that's there to fit this versus shuffling it all around?
Shuffling around. The way the field, it depends on how much you shuffle. So currently the field is pretty much backed into the corner.
Right.
It's not a safe place if you have, say anyone, spectators or kids or anything that are outside of the field, as well as foul balls that may enter the street. Within the concept plan, it is proposing fencing that goes around the field, so that could also be added if the field stayed where it is. Design-wise, the preferred orientation for baseball is that you have home plate and you're hitting towards the northeast. Same thing with soccer fields, is they're more intended to be north-south oriented.
And this fits your needs, or versus
Yeah, I
having
think
2
our-
fields, you'd rather have 1 built-out field?
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, our basic needs, our priority is actually,
And Rick, if you could just introduce yourself.
Rick Klepner, 12701 Overlook Road, Dayton, Executive Director-elect CDAA. Our biggest immediate needs is some smaller soccer fields. We've got an issue where overtaxing one of the at J-Rack, when we have 2 baseball games and 3 soccer fields going, parking's half-mile away. And the city's asked us to, find other places, and this would be someplace where we can move that. So that's our most immediate need. Also baseball practice fields, Jackson. If anybody's ever had kids practice there or whatever, it's not maintained, not safe, just not very good fields. It used to be maintained by City of Champlin, helped out. They just didn't have staff to help out and do those also, and the district doesn't maintain it, and they don't allow us to maintain it. And so we need to get off of using that. It's just not very good. So, practice field for baseball. I think the design to eventually, hey, if we don't have parks someplace else long-term, this could have the potential to be a game field long-term. Also with the two smaller soccer fields, it also could be lacrosse practice space early in season that goes the same time as baseball. So it's with the parking, with the additional parking, it allows us to have two things going on at once. You would not be able to do 3 soccer fields at this. It would be way too much parking needed.
Is the CDAA willing to assist financially with this?
Yes, you actually have significant money already of ours, and we would, we'd be able to assist. Depends on what, and then obviously if you can get grants and such. But yeah, we would be willing
Is
to.
concept C kind of the direction you think that you want to go? Is that?
It seemed most reasonable. Some of the other ones, like 2 baseball fields, didn't really seem to work very well because you need more parking to be able to do that, and you would not have enough parking to have 2 baseball fields unless they were just practice fields, which then doesn't allow you long-term to be able to have them be game fields.
And is the thought process on this that it'd be a mix of CDA funds, grants, any additional sponsorships,
city,
et cetera, anything like that?
However,
and
you
then,
can get the funds, yeah.
okay, and then the rest of the money would be coming from
Probably the city.
from the city. All right. Do we have any clue on the price tag, or are we thinking it's,
We haven't got that far yet.
okay?
We're still working on the concept.
I mean, it makes sense.
And the other thing with the soccer is it's obviously the cheapest to put in first.
But I like the versatility that you're doing multiple things on the space. I mean, that's obviously, space is always the issue, and it looks like you've got a plan here that are going to be more than just one use.
Right, be used throughout the summer.
I guess my only concern is, well, 2. I see that it's marked down for a picnic shelter and storage space and then a restroom area that looks like it's smaller than a car. Thinking of all the kids and all this, I would assume that we would be putting in a regular sized bathroom and making sure there's the facilities for,
That's up to you guys. I don't think any of the Champlin fields have regular bathrooms. Everything is, other than Andrews, I think, everything is
I don't know that you have.
porta potties.
Yeah, I
That's-
don't know
So
that you
it
have
is-
much for there capacity there
Not
at all.
there, it's
Yeah.
pretty
No.
low.
Yeah. Another thought, Marty, and I don't know if Cloquet's got a huge grass, just a weed field.
It's a prairie, Scott, it's a prairie.
I said it right. There's enough room there for something too.
Parking though?
Yeah, there's parking.
Well, there's a little bit of parking there. I don't know, because that has always been designated as a prairie. I haven't really been approached about doing anything else there. I'm not against the idea, but I think that's a really well-established prairie. I had prairie restorations come out and look at it, and they were super impressed with the way that thing looks. It's one of the best examples of a prairie in the state, apparently.
We need a placard on it then.
Huh?
We need a placard on it
Well,
then. Best in the state.
you can sponsor it, Dave.
I've got 50 cents. Anybody else?
I do like the plan, though. It looks like, well thought out, and as one of my neighbors has went there to play catch with their kids, and they've actually said how terrible it was for parking and, how it was very out of date, so I think something needs to be done, and, I think you guys have put a lot of thought into this. I like how, I didn't know that northeast is the way that you're supposed to hit a baseball, so I learned something tonight. But I do like the fact that, not just utilizing one sport, but trying to utilize more. And then also the parking being away from the intersection and the fenced-in, area would be really good, I think, so.
I think, so our oldest played CDA this year, and we had one practice there, and it was a little awkward, just with all the traffic that comes from South End. So, what's the height of the fence
It's
Any
not
clue?
determined, so, I mean,
Okay.
part of it,
I mean, for 12U, obviously, that's the hard part, right? Because I was just thinking, like, do we set ourselves up? I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, Northern Palms. You guys remember Northern Palms? So the new huge Rogers Fieldhouse that just came up, that was a golf, indoor-outdoor golf dome called Northern Palms, and it didn't make it. And I can tell you what happened. One of the guys I grew up with, that was a really good player, and he played professionally. He was hitting balls into North Diamond Lake Road, and the cars driving by on North Diamond Lake there, right? You know, Rogers Middle School, high school, and the Fieldhouse. And so that area that's now the Fieldhouse was high school kids hitting balls out at the traffic. So it was just a legitimate fear of mine. And again, at 12U, we should be fine. But, like, will we have any to deal with any potential insurance claims from cars getting hit on, you know, balls?
yes.
Okay. And we'd be protected by that, or we'd be...
I think that we would try to get the fence big enough to contain anything.
Yeah, no, it's just something I was thinking
Yeah, no.
about. And like, even when we had practice there last year, I'm like, oh my gosh, just being over here,
Yeah.
if a kid runs out into, the, you know, like it just...
That's one of the things that we talked about, and, you know, that was why we tried to put it this way, because, you know...
There's
when
no
you-
activity happening over there
Yeah.
except for just a ball. There's no humans on the
Yeah,
busy
and your
highway.
foul balls are going to go out, you know, not out onto the road, they, you know, they'll be
Yeah.
behind you and stuff, so... There was some consideration put into it. We don't know exactly what height of fence that we would need to put there, but I'm sure there's some way of calculating that.
And some type of netting.
It's tight, and or the space is tight, and you're going to have foul balls that are going to go up much higher than, you know, if you're trying to hit a home run. So I don't think home runs are the issue. It's going to be the foul balls. It'll be, you know, this soccer probably isn't as big of a concern, I think.
Right. I would agree.
It's
Especially
it's a
younger.
tight site.
Even lacrosse isn't that much of a concern because they're not throwing very far.
And with the
For
thought...
soccer and lacrosse, I mean, I think this is for younger kids, so it's.
So obviously way down the road, but is the thought that this would all be sodded, seeded? What direction?
I think it'd have to be sodded. Early, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think the baseball field would definitely be sodded, and maybe the rest can be seeded, but I think there'd be irrigation put in there whatever way we
Yeah,
go
that-
anyway.
Okay.
That's one of the big keys, having irrigation. One of the
Right.
reasons we don't use soccer or whatever, it's just, trying to do that on
Yeah.
irrigated grass does not work very well.
Shouldn't be much of a problem. That thing usually floods.
What is the soil there?
Clay.
It's all clay.
I'm good with it. I like the proposal. I like the ideas. It is very well thought out.
Okay, well, we'll continue with the process. I guess we'll refine the design and start getting some costings together.
Yeah, the big part in this probably is, apart from funding, is timing. So, you know, the ball field's dependent on the public works building expansion. You know, I would imagine the soccer fields could be done as probably phase one.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Next item, park updates presentation.
Yeah.
Love it. Knock us out of the park, Marty.
All right.
Just don't hit a car.
Okay, so I'm just going to run through a couple of slides here. This is the original plan, the bid plan for Area 21. This is the original layout. This is the area that we're working on this year. The south end will be something that we're hoping to do next year. I just wanted to show you what the situation is out there currently. We've had the basketball court in, it's paved. We're not going to be able to get the markings down or the surface in just due to weather and temperature constraints. The sand volleyball court is in. The sleeves and everything for the nets are in. We're just waiting for the structures to be delivered. The playground itself is all in and constructed. There's a couple of areas that we're waiting for poured in place material to be put in. I'm doubtful that that's going to happen this year. It's probably going to have to wait until the spring. Again, temperature constraints with that. Another look at the playground shelter's in, there's a portable biff there, which is really attractive. There's still furniture to go in. That's all of the Area 21 stuff. Obviously, there's still the irrigation's got to be completed over there. Seeding's got to be done. The trees are going to go in next year in the spring, just because there's no seeding in there. I don't want to go in there and rip up everything. And they haven't got the irrigation fixed up in there yet. So until that's done, I don't want to put trees in because we're not going to be able to water them. I'd rather water them from the irrigation system when that's in.
Sure.
And then Iron Gardens was a much smaller project, just some work around the playground itself, and of course we did the irrigation project in there this year. There were some additional trees that were with the contract. There are some trees that were outside of the contract. I did get those trees in this year because we were much further along with this project. So the grass is coming in. This is the area where they put in the paving, the seating blocks, and some stonework, a couple of trees in there, and some shrubs and some grasses. But the irrigation has made a huge difference to this area. We couldn't get anything to grow in there before. Public Works did do a lot of grading in there to improve the mowability of the playground and the green space around there. And we've had some positive feedback from the residents in there, which is good because they were really frustrated with the condition that it was in before.
Right.
So this is a step in the right direction.
Good. Awesome.
Finance-wise, we're still on budget. We still have $23,000 in contingency. We do have a couple of change orders and a couple of overruns to account for in there, but I've accounted for those numbers in this, and we're still in a good place to get this across the line under budget.
Nice.
That's my presentation on those park improvements this year.
Awesome. I like the way Ion came out.
Yeah.
Questions for Marty on either of these?
Okay. Good.
That's good.
Thank you very much.
Time to put it to bed.
Sorry?
Time for winter.
Good work. Time for ice skating rinks.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't start that ball rolling just yet.
Will be coming. All right. Announcement, next meeting, Tuesday, December 2nd. So, good for everybody, as opposed.
I have an event that night. I don't know. What is your schedule?
I will not be here.
Could we look at could we do the 9th, or would you rather do the 3rd first?
December's not there.
And we can't do the 9th because that's council.
3rd or the 1st?
I won't be at either of them, the first or the third.
Are you out that whole first
week?
week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is Convention Plan Commission is on the 3rd. Holiday is on the 4th.
Holiday's on the 4th. Could we do Wednesday the 10th?
What do we have for schedule? What do you want on the agenda for this?
Or we, yeah.
Have you got any special requests?
No,
I
the budget
personally don't.
was really what I wanted to get done before that. That was great tonight.
But that doesn't mean these two
Yeah, that's what
that are
I.
absent don't. I would send out an email, a contingent meeting on the 2nd, pending priorities or needs from the group, and then let them flush it back to you. And if it's two or less items, take December
I
out,
moved it to January.
and we'll come hit it hard in January.
Yeah.
what would the January meeting be?
I don't
The
know.
6th of January.
Way out there for me.
6th, you said?
Yep.
Okay. So tentative, January 6th.
So you want us to send out an email to the group, see,
I want to make sure we get a response from these two.
yeah,
And if they don't respond, that's still a response. So
okay,
if there's 2 or less items, we'll see you January 6th.
okay.
Or the Christmas holiday party and the parade, and
Mm-hmm.
All the other things we'll be doing. Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Who from the commission is planning on going to the year-end, or end-of-year review and recognition? I plan on, are you gonna be there?
That's during the day. I'll be working.
I'm leaving work to go do it because I
Yeah.
enjoyed it so much last year.
Should
I'm
be a
also
commitment,
leaving work.
Dave. Come on.
Wow.
It would be fun to have a whole parks table. Last year it was just me and John, so if we could get a whole parks table, that'd be
What is
nice.
the date?
Take a long lunch.
The 10th of December, from noon to 3 at Sundance Entertainment is according to my invite.
Yeah,
What time?
noon to 3.
December
Mm.
10th.
To 3 p.m. Got it. Okay. I'll start making moves.
Look at that.
And make sure when you send out the email, you tell them about the party and that we're planning on being there, so.
Okay.
They already got their invite, but it'd be sweet if we get more than 2 this year, that'd be cool.
You set your sights very low.
3 would be great.
Well, none of you were at the parade last year, and I held on floats there.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. The holiday and that's on the 4th, right?
Yes. Parade starts around 6:15.
Starts at the gas station, ends at the stop sign.
Was it really cold last year? I'm trying to remember why we didn't. Yeah, that's why we didn't take our kids out. That's why.
There's other people with kids.
Yeah,
And they
I'm
roll
soft. I want them to not freeze.
Anyways,
Anyways,
how we digress. All right. That is it. I'll call for a motion of adjournment.
I'll move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. 45 minutes. I can recall the last council meeting to be 7.5 hours.
Our last meeting.